Hey guys, it's me, Kiana, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my December book haul. Now in the month of December, I have gotten 3 books. 3 I have bought for myself, 2 I have gotten for Christmas, and 1 my father bought me. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. The first book I have here is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is book 2 in the Darker Shade of Magic series. This takes place 4 months after what has happened in the Darker Shade of Magic, and from what I hear, there's a competition in this book. So for those who don't know what a Darker Shade of Magic is, it's basically 4 different Londons: Red London, White London, Grey London, and Black London. But nobody is allowed into Black London no more, as they have grown power hungry, and basically the doors were closed, so only certain people can go from one London to another. And one of those persons is called Cal. His name is Cal, and he is the son to the Red Royal family. And he travels through along with this other guy named Holland, I want to say his name is. And it is a very interesting book, and I love the first book, and I'm glad I now have the second book. And I cannot wait to own the 3rd book so I can have the entire series. But I do plan on reading these 2 books this year. I know that for sure, and I'm really, really excited. So the second book I bought was Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. And this is basically stories from Jace, Tessa, Magnus, and Simon, as Simon is now becoming a shadow hunter. And we learn about the history from all 4 of these people, and I'm really excited to read this, and I'm going to start this today. The 3rd book I have is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is book 1 in the Red Queen series, and in this universe, it is basically you're divided by your blood. If you have red blood, that means you have some power and you're in the nobility. If you have silver blood, you're basically a nobody. And for those who have red blood, they have certain powers. Like in the royal family, one prince has fire, and both princes have fire. One of the prince's beloved has electricity, and we follow a girl named, what is her name? Mare Barrow. And basically the way it is if by the time you're 18 and you don't have a job, basically you're thrown into the army. So a lot of people scramble for like internships, stuff like that. So Mare's little sister, I forgot what her name is, she is this intern to this fashion designer, and one day she gets Mare into the big city because you have to show like your ID card that says who you are, what your status is. And they go, and people who are of silver blood aren't treated also well. They're treated as nobodies until like their internship is almost over, and then they take over who trained them's shop. It's really confusing. But if you're like the person who's training you dies, you have to go into the army because nobody is there to continue on your training. So Mare gets a job. Mare meets the crown prince, and she gets a job as working as one of the maids in the palace, and shit takes off from there, because on the day that a lot of noble families are brought in to introduce their children to the prince family, somehow her power is shown, which is weird because she has silver blood, and silver bloods aren't allowed to have this kind of power inside of them. And I got to page around 300, and I didn't finish it, so I cannot wait to go into this. So we're gonna move on to the 2 books my grandpa gave me. And the first book is called The Obsidian Chamber by Preston and Child, from, let's see what it says here. The tragic disappearance after a harrowing otherworldly confrontation on the shores of Exmouth, Massachusetts. Special Agent A.X.L. Pendergast is missing, presumed dead. A shocking return. Sick with grief, Pendergast ward Constant retreats to her chambers beneath the family mansion at 891 Riverside Drive, only to be taken captive by a shadowy figure from the past. An international manhunt. Protector Pendergast, longtime bodyguard, springs into action, chasing Constance kidnapper through cities across the ocean and into wastelands unknown. In the world of black and white, nothing is as it seems. By the time protector discovers the truth, a terrifying engine has stirred, and it may be too late. I have never read something by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child before, but it does seem interesting, and mystery shows, like crime shows like this, is up my alley, so hopefully I enjoy this. So the next book we have is called June by Miranda Beverly Whitmore, and basically it's an old story that 25-year-old Cassie Danvers is holed up in her family's crumbling mansion in rural St. Jude, Ohio, mourning the loss of the woman who raised her, her grandmother June. And it's basically about Cassie, how her grandmother has named her heir to all her fortune, and how two people are basically trying to take that from her. I love how interesting this one sounds, and I'm going to try really hard to read this soon. So my sixth and final book, I finally joined Book of the Month, and I got One Day in December by Josie Sober. And as it says, like right here, it says 2 people, 10 chances, 1 unforgettable love story. And it's about a girl named Lori, and she meets this guy named Jack at a bus stop. But he doesn't get on the bus fast enough for them to like continue on. So like a couple years later, she's at a Christmas party for her family, and he's there. And so I love stories like that. A lot of people have seemed to love this, and I'm going to read this in February. So those were the 6 books I bought this month, and I am really, really excited to read all of these. But that is all for today's video. I will be bringing here 2 videos I just feel like you guys should go check out, and I will see you guys Monday with my New Year's resolutions. Bye guys.